Are you having a hard time completing the Boomer encounter in the raid? Well, today's video, I'm going to tell you guys the best build for completing Boomer. Esiva, this is LaserBolt, and today we're going to be taking a look at what is the best build to complete Boomer. This is a part 1 of 4 of all the encounters found in the raid and providing you the best build for each individual encounter in the raid. The reason I decided to put this video together is because there is a ton of people who still haven't been able to complete the raid, yet alone get past Boomer. And I believe that one of the reasons that is because not a lot of people know that there's certain builds that fare really well with certain encounters, and there's certain builds that don't do so well with certain encounters. So I wanted to create a series going through each individual encounter, giving you guys what I believe to be the best build, what you guys need in order to complete the stage, because I want to have as many people completing the encounter as possible. Yes, I know the factor of not having people to play with is a very key component. That's why we went ahead and created an LFG on our Discord server. So if you guys are looking to find people to do the raid with, definitely go ahead and join our Discord. The link is in the description. Before we get started with the build, do want to remind you guys about our monthly giveaway. We're giving away a free pair of Turtle Beach Recon 70s for the console of your choice. To enter, it's super easy. All you got to do is click the link down below in the description where it says join Bolt Nation, and you will be automatically entered. Good luck to everyone. All right, so now let's talk about the Boomer encounter. Now, the thing I want to let you guys know, this is not a guide on how to complete the encounter. I already made a video for that. If you guys want to check out that video, I'll link it in the description. This is primarily a guide on things that you need to have in your build in order to complete the encounter. So let's talk about the first thing, which I like to call the Boomer factor. We're going to take a look at Boomer, and we're going to take a look at the things I believe you need to have in order to be able to finish this encounter. Number one priority is survivability is king in this encounter. Yes, guys, survivability is king. That's your number one priority, survive. You guys don't know how many times I've ran this raid with LFG groups and how many times I see one huge common denominator. That is people dying, going down, and making you lose DPS and making you lose time in actually reviving them. I've seen people run to revive someone, and what tends to happen is they get shot and they go down as well. 2 people go down. It just pretty much breaks down the whole entire encounter. So survivability is your number one priority. Now I want to know from you guys though, how many of you guys have had this problem when trying to complete the Boomer encounter? Let me know in the comment section down below. At number 2, guys, we are going to be talking about having the right amount of DPS. This encounter requires you to have a good amount of DPS. It's not like you have to have maximum DPS, but overall in general, the 8 people that are within the raid should have a good amount of DPS to cause a lot of damage to Boomer, so you won't be doing too many cycles at once. Yes, you want to reduce the cycles, so you want to have a good amount of DPS when it comes to Boomer. And number 3 is knowing when to heal and having a good amount of healing options. Those are the main priorities when it comes to defeating this encounter. Number 1, survivability. Number 2, having the right amount of DPS. And number 3, having a good amount of healing options in your disposal. Now that we know the priorities of the encounter, let's talk about what's actually going to help us in order to achieve these priorities. So let's drill down on talents that are going to help us have survivability, that's going to let us have good amount of DPS, and it's going to give us an option to have heals. Right off the bat, when completing this encounter, I just want to quick mention that there are only 2 weapons viable for this encounter. Yes, other people might use different weapons, but if you're new to the encounter, there's technically only 2 really good weapons to use, either an AR or an LMG. If you're on console, I would definitely recommend using an LMG over an AR, unless you have the 20 round extended mag for the AR. So now that we got the weapons out of the way, let's talk about 3 individual talents that I believe that are almost a requirement when doing this encounter. The reason why I say that they're a requirement is because they're going to give you the most survivability and giving you guys the most effective way to actually get your health back. So we're going to start off with the first one, which I believe to me personally is by far the best talent you could use for the raid, and that is Unbreakable. It says 70% of your max armor is repaired when your armor is depleted. Armor kits used within the next 7 seconds are not consumed. This talent alone is very useful, especially for this one, because it gives you kind of like an extra life when you're getting shot, which you will be getting shot a lot during this encounter. So having that extra life is always very beneficial. In addition to that, when you get shot, and you proc the Unbreakable talent, you'll be able to consume a armor kit and you will not consume it, which makes it great because that means you have almost unlimited armor kits as long as you're using them as soon as your Unbreakable procs. Really, really good and effective talent to have. The next talent, which I also believe that is almost like a requirement to have, that is Patience. Now, Patience, it says the following: after being in cover for 5 seconds, armor repairs by 5% every 1 second. This is really good because you will be in cover during this encounter. Sometimes when you're getting shot or you're doing computers or you're trying to kill the ads, you will be taking a little bit of cover or you're trying to heal yourself, and getting that additional health back while you're in cover or repairing your armor while you're in cover is going to come very handy. Plus, it's also a very good way in case you run out of armor kits or if your skills are on cooldown. This will allow you to get your health back without having to consume anything or actually use a skill. The last talent, which is technically not a requirement, but I always would recommend it if you could use it. I would definitely recommend it if it doesn't take away from your build. That is Vital. It's going to give you plus 20% more on health, which is really good. Another talent that I might want to mention right there is Restorative. It gives you plus 10 health on kill. It's not that helpful. You won't be getting that much back, but I mean, it's always good to have. If you have it, it doesn't really hurt you having it or not. As long as it doesn't mess your build, you should be good. But those are primarily the talents I would highly recommend that you definitely should apply when doing the Boomer encounter. Now let's take a look at the attributes you're going to have. And what makes this build beautiful is the fact that you only have to worry about one specific attribute. So on the red column, you can have any. On the yellow, you could have any. But the main one you want to focus on is you want to make sure that your blue hits the 11 mark. Anything else will be able to go on this build. The only reason why we need to hit that 11 is so we could use the Unbreakable talent. Also, in addition to that, we don't really have to worry about Patience and hitting that 6 because we are already at 11. So we already hit the 6 and we already hit the 11. So other than that, this build is very simple to compose of. All you got to make sure is you hit that 11, get that nice chest piece with that Unbreakable, get those knee pads with Patience, and you guys should be good to go. Now let's talk about the last thing you need to focus on when completing this encounter, and that is knowing how many damage to elites, how many weapon damage, or what should be the average you should be looking for. To do this encounter, of course, it's going to be dependent on another 8 of people, but this is actually going to give you a nice base point, so you guys could go ahead and maybe check into if someone joins the raid and see if they're qualified to do it. Or you could tell them, you know what, if you just tweak this around or you move this gear piece around, you will be able to do the encounter with us. Now, granted, this doesn't mean that these are requirements. Some people might be able to complete the encounter with less of the numbers that I'm going to say, but that is because other people have really high numbers. This is just a base reference in case you're joining a team or if you're looking at your build and trying to figure out if you guys are qualified to do the encounter, or maybe you just need to tweak a couple sets of gears to actually achieve these numbers. The first one we're going to be talking about is DTE, and that is damage to elites. Now, what is the average number you want to complete this with, or the average number that you want to have in order to be able to be productive on a team that you're joining? You want to try to get your damage to elites to at least 65 plus. Now, the way you're going to be able to achieve this is you're going to want to look at the mask that you currently have and try to find the mask with the highest damage to elites. Usually the majority of you should have a mask that's 25 or higher. I highly doubt that if you guys are doing the raid, you don't have a mask in your inventory that's 25 or higher. Now, what I want you to do is move over the talent hard hitting, and that should move your mask up to 35. That means you only need 30 more damage to elites to find anywhere else. Remember, all you got to do is look for gears that have hard hitting, apply those gears into your build, and you guys will be able to hit that damage to elite threshold of 65. The next number we're going to be taking a look at is specific weapon damage. So like I said earlier in the video, there are only 2 weapons that are extremely viable with the raid. That is an AR, and of course that is an LMG. Now, for the weapon damage, you want to make sure it's at least 30. You're probably wondering, Laser, that's really high, and I'm going to tell you guys why that is not high. So right now, what you could do is you could get weapon damage out of any specialist that you're currently using. So you'll be able to get that 30 threshold fairly easily. You'll be able to get 10 weapon damage just from your specialist alone. In addition to that, guys, if you look for a chest piece or knee pads or a gear set that is Fenris group, you'll be able to tap into that 10% talent that gives you plus 10% assault rifle damage. So there alone, guys, you already have 20%. So you're probably wondering, Laser, where am I going to get the additional 10%? Well, you'll be able to get this off of your gloves because remember, you're able to apply specific weapon damage on your gloves. Remember, the max you could go up is to 12. So technically right here alone, if you have a really good roll, you should be able to have at least 10 more additional AR damage on your build, and that is not including gear mods that you're still able to apply to your gear. So you're looking to at least hit that 30% cap when it comes to specific weapon damage. If you're running LMG, you want 30 LMG. If you're running an AR, you're 130 AR. The last thing I want to recommend specifically for this encounter is headshot damage. You want to make sure you're able to get at least 25, and to get this, it's actually pretty easy. Everybody should be able to apply this to their build because it's super easy. All you have to do is equip your Nemesis sniper rifle and you will automatically get 25 headshot damage on your build just by applying this. Remember, you need to run a 3.5 millimeter scope or higher to be able to get the holstered talent to proc on your build. Mostly anybody should be able to meet this requirement. If you don't have the Nemesis, I would highly recommend you start farming for it because we will be using this a little bit more often within the raid. In case you're wondering, why do I want headshot damage? Because remember, the only way you're able to DPS Boomer is by shooting him in the head, and of course you want to have as much damage output as you possibly can. Now it's your time to let me know in the comment section down below if you have a similar build or if you're running something different. Please let me know in the comments section down below. For those of you who haven't completed the Boomer encounter, let me know if there's anything that you guys are planning to tweak with your build after watching this video, and what do you think was the thing that was affecting you not being able to complete the Boomer encounter that does not have to do with you guys not finding people, because we created an LFG on Discord so you guys can find people to play with. This is part 1 of a series of videos on how to complete all the Operation Dark Hour raid and what are the best builds for each encounter. I do hope you guys did enjoy this video and found it helpful and informative, and it actually helps you guys complete the raid because that is my main objective, trying to get as many people to actually complete the raid as possible. If you did, I want to thank you because I know you guys are going to slap that like button like if you mean it, and you're also going to be sharing this video with your friends because that will help me out a lot. In addition to that, you will also be helping out your friends so they could also complete the encounter as well. If you would like to show additional love and support, do consider joining the Bolt Nation. To join, it's super easy. All you got to do is click the link down below in the description where it says join Bolt Nation, and this will allow you to unlock exclusive features only found on the channel. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget WGATAP, and I will catch you guys on the next video.